If you want to be a successful business owner, you better care about your employees. If you don't care about your employees will find that, know it, and leave you.
This is the Contender's Edge podcast, where ideas challenge institutions and underdogs rise to lead in construction. Hosted by Zulk, bringing you no BS insights, real stories, and tech smart strategies to outbuild the giants in the construction industry. Let's get to work.
I guess it's morning here where we are right now, Shaun. So good morning, Shaun, and thank you for joining our official podcast, which is called the Contender series at Smart Build.
Thank you.
We chose the title because a lot of us are part of what we call the not enterprise scenario of construction companies, and we're contending with some of the bigger fish that are out there. And how do we get to that stage? So that's where the theme of the topic came from. Some of you who already know me, I've been around the construction ecosystem closing in on 30 years, and I'm glad to have Shaun Dawson today beside me here, and we get to have a candid conversation around leadership and some health and safety in construction. So Shaun, maybe you want to introduce yourself a little bit, please?
So it's Shaun. I'm the president of Gempro. My father started the company in 98. Started working for him in 2000. And we've grown from being in my house in the spare bedroom, hearing the first fax machine going off in 98 to doing some really big projects now. My father retired in 21. I took ownership of the company at that time, and we've been pushing along ever since. It's been fun.
Awesome. Well, first of all, congratulations on that success.
Thank you.
It's always nice that there's a legacy where someone can start the business and there's somebody to take it over. Hopefully one day one of your children wants to step in if they're brave enough to do it. Probably smarter than we are. Probably won't do it.
Yeah.
Construction is in a new era. Everyone says that, it's something new. We've come out of COVID. COVID's redefined a lot of stuff that's happening. What are some of the challenges that you see from your vantage point that are kind of top of mind for you as you grow your business?
Well, I mean, for a health and safety perspective, I would say for myself, it begins from the top down. You can't push health and safety if everyone below you is pushing it and the guy on the top's not even paying attention. I'm very much involved in health and safety. I work very, very closely with my health and safety manager. And I'm really open when it comes to health and safety and making sure that all my guys are following all procedures. They're properly trained. They know their rights. They know how to react to different situations when problems occur. It's a lot of training, but that's what you've got to do. If you really care about your business and if you really want to push the needle, health and safety has to be number one. No one wants to work for a company that doesn't care about health and safety. I have a responsibility to all the girlfriends, boyfriends, husband, wives, parents of all of the people that work for me, that they go home safely and they know that they're working for a company that actually gives a shit about them.
And I think that touches on a point where, Shaun, I know a little bit about you. I actually met your dad on a number of occasions. I know that you're not doing this to cover your ass, because that's a lot of people believe that health and safety is about covering your ass. You all obviously grown because of the success of the guys that you have in your team. So is there a narrative that you may be able to share with people out there that says, hey, listen, I'm not doing this to cover my ass. I understand on a legal level, I have to do it. But the reason I'm doing is it's helping me foster how my team's growing.
Yeah, I mean, I actually do care. Like, I mean, you're right. There's lots of people out there that, they do it because they have to. That's what the law tells them to do. But, and maybe when I was younger, that's kind of how I felt. And then as my father pushed, we got into core. So we were one of the first, we were under the 200 mark for becoming core. And I'll tell you, when it first started, it was a frustrating process. A lot of our supervisors were frustrated by all the additional paperwork and everything else. But we've now been core certified now for, I want to say, 8 years.
Wow. So you're really at the front of that. I
And we truly put our heart and soul into it. Our health and safety managers working on core all the time. So as I progressed through core and I got older and I matured and I understood a little bit more and my responsibilities changed, I realized that core wasn't just a check the box. It truly was a core business model for Gempro.
Yeah, it became part of your mission and your vision statement of the company.
I did. Because at the end of the day, like I just said, I've read a lot and heard a lot of different things when it comes to health and safety. And it really hits home to me that all of those people that work for me, they expect to be working for a company that actually truly cares about them. And for myself, it wasn't, that really hit home. I'm responsible for 32 employees and making sure that every single day they go home safe to their families. And I don't take that lightly. And I think that's why we've been successful. and continue to grow, and why I have employees that have been around for over 25 years, is because they know that we truly do care. They're not just a number. I've always said that I never want to be one of the really, really big guys, the Ellis Dons and the PCLs, not by any means because there's nothing wrong with those companies. It's just I can't imagine having a company so big that I don't know everybody who works for me. I need to have a connection, because I find that I don't want any of my employees to be a number. None of my employees feel that way. They're all able to come talk to me. I have an open door policy. So it's not just health and safety, it's leadership. I think from the top down, you have to be the guy. You have to be the guy that people trust in, and the guy that, if you screw up, he's there to maybe slap your hand, but also there to bring you back up and help you get better at what you're doing.
Perfect. And I think you kind of touched on the topic that's your leadership style and technique.
Yeah. And I did this leadership training with a company named Medcore. So Medcore, I met them at the symposium at the OGCA 2 years ago. Now, if anyone doesn't know what the symposium is, it's a huge construction event that happens in Blue Mountain twice every 2 years. The OGCA puts it on. There's usually about 700 people that go to it, and they do a bunch of different seminars and some Gold Seal programs. With Medcore, they have a service which, for a fee, they open up mental health counselors. They're not going to be a counselor that gives out medication or that stuff, but they're there to talk to. So we set this thing up. I met them 2 years ago. A year and a half ago, I put them on board, and it allows any one of my employees at any given time. There's no amount that they can't call. They would call, talk to somebody who requires mental health or is struggling with something. It's not just work related, family related, kids, everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables that we manage all day long.
Exactly. So I got that system set up. That's how I met Medcore originally, which was amazing. And then from there, I met another individual, Cami from Medcore, who does leadership training.
Nice.
So I did leadership training, and I just finished it a month ago. And from there, I learned a lot more about how to manage people, how people are different. They do something called True Colors. If anyone has ever heard of True Colors, it's like an assessment of yourself.
Yeah, it's your personality traits.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So from there, we did everybody in the office. We did a mental health True Colors thing. And from there, you actually learn how people learn, how they listen, how they react to different situations. So from there, everyone in my company in the office now has a color outside their door, which tells me what their color is. So if you're speaking to somebody like an orange, there's somebody who's got lots of ideas. They got to throw lots of ideas at you. Somebody who's green you'll just tell them an issue and they'll just start jumping on it. They'll look at and brainstorm how to get to there.
Right.
Somebody who's gold is somebody who you have to give them a structure. From there, they'll build on it.
Yeah, you give them a good path.
Yeah, and then there's people like myself who's a blue. Now, blue's very emotional. They're very people oriented. They very caring, and so that's me kind of in a nutshell. I truly care about my employees. I want to know what they're doing, how they're doing. If you're struggling, come talk to me because I want to help you, because I'm in a position to help people. I got employees out there that, just because they might be making great money, but who knows what's going on in their lives? Are they going through divorce? Are they having some issues at home? So is there mortgage issues? People will come to me and talk to me and ask me, hey, is there something I can do? And I will do my very best to help them, because that's my role. I have the ability to help people, and my employees should be my number one concern, and they are. I morally can't let people struggle if there's something I can do.
And I think, first of all, I applaud you for taking the step and the initiative to do that. You and I spent probably the same amount of time in the industry as far as time go. You had the benefit of learning under your father, and you got some tutelage from your father as you transitioned into the leadership role. When I started my construction company, I had experiences by working for people, but I didn't have a father figure that was able to sit there and transfer knowledge to me. And what I really want to touch on is the fact that you're taking the initiative to implement, first of all, mental health, very important in our industry. And I think, Shaun, you know that I sit on the board for Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention, where we are actively openly discussing about mental health strategies for people in our sector. We've coined a term, we call them our construction warriors. They go to battle every day. We got to find out what else they're battling when they're not on the job site. So part of our job in the leadership role is to clear the path for them so that we get the best of them, right? I
read a statistic that construction workers are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than any other industry in the world.
Yeah, forget the word alarming. The number is 5 times more likely. But when you look at all the other sectors, the next closest sector is so far away from where construction sits. It's disturbing, right? And I think it behooves every one of us that sits in any kind of position. And you don't have to be the owner of a company to help with mental health strategy. You could be the guy in the field that, you know what, your job is to push a broom. You can help implement a change, right?
Yep.
Because it starts with
Absolutely.
us just openly discussing that it's okay, we got problems and we want to challenge. So kudos for you for engaging with this mental health advocacy firm that's helping your team. And I got to say, I want to bring this up. People who are listening are going to want to know, it's not affecting your bottom line, is it, John? Because that's all people care about, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Okay, so I don't think it's an issue if I say it. So with Medcore, I have opened it up to everyone in my company and their family members up to the age of, starting from the age of 18. And I pay $650 a month. Like, it's nothing.
So we're talking about a couple rounds of golf, couple beers, and a bite to eat.
It's nothing. It absolutely is nothing. And it's like, and Corn and I have spoken at numerous times. Why aren't more people doing this? Like, it's a no brainer. And she'll give me a report and she'll say, hey, nobody called in this month, or only one called in this month. And to me, it doesn't matter if nobody ever calls in. It's that the service is there when they need it. If they're not using it, maybe everything's good in their lives. But when they're having struggles, it's ready to go, and it doesn't hurt the bottom line. It's such a small number. And I just think it's so important this day and age, especially going through COVID. I think mental health really blew up. The idea of mental health and how we all reached or reacted to that during COVID has really opened it up to everybody else to one's way more open about it.
Oh yeah, and we can talk about our feelings now, and we can cry.
Yeah.
Nobody judges a guy for crying anymore, which I think, you know what, it's about time. My dad, big burly guy, and he was the one that used to say, I love you. Not my mom. My mom, we knew she was going to say, I love you. But my dad was the emotionally available human being in our life. And I was fortunate that he was that person, right? Because it taught us to say, hey, wait a minute, I can be vulnerable. And it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah, well, we got on a call. I got on a call with everyone in my company, and Medcore was doing a presentation. And this is where I think leadership matters. I was very open about my struggles when my father retired. I went through a hell of a lot of anxiety. It was a lot of stuff was put on my shoulders, and it was really difficult. So going to see my doctor, we got some medication to get me leveled out.
Nice.
But I told that story to the company, and so many people reached out to me and said, well, thank you for saying that, because I didn't know. It's nice to know that somebody else is going through it, because mental health, yes, it's definitely more prevalent. We talk about it, but there are still a lot of people out there that kind of hold it to themselves, and they don't need to. Nowadays, you shouldn't have to struggle. There's so many things in place to help. And going back to my position, I want to make sure all those things are available to them so that they are happy.
Very proud that you stepped up for you. Super proud that you were happy to share and make yourself vulnerable to other people. I think that if you were to survey a lot of us in construction, especially in leadership, we've all had our ebbs and flows with emotions. And I think that being able to recognize that I need to be able to share my story to get other people to do their thing is great. And for all the other viewers that didn't know this, Shaun had a full set of hair before he started the leadership. I had a big coif. He used to get it groomed 5 times a week. And that's the stress of being in construction. I used to be all black hair, but I'm gray now. So it kind of happens with the territory. So before we end this, if I was a small to medium-sized general contracting company, which I don't put you in the small bucket, the projects you guys do, you're a little bit beyond that stage. Are you say reach out to companies like Medco? Is it Medco?
Medcore. Medcore is the company that we use.
I'm going to say from a dollar's perspective, $700 drop in that ocean. Who cares?
Yep.
It's the least amount of money you're going to spend in a given month on anything. You're saying, yes, do it?
100%. I mean, if you want to be a successful business owner, you better care about your employees. If you don't care about your employees will find that, know it, and leave you. You truly have to be the person who is the leader of your business. You need to be the guy who's there for them when they're struggling. You need to be the guy who's there when they screw up, and yet, and to do discipline. But you are the main focal point for your company. If you don't care, then you are not going to be successful in construction.
And you know what? On that note, Shaun, we're going to wrap it up. You're honorary. You can be a chief happiness officer like I am. If you want to change your title officially, I'm happy to share it with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shaun, for sharing perspective. I do want to invite you on to another podcast. You touched on a topic earlier that how you're putting your guys through a leadership program. And I want to share, I think that that's a very important topic, because one of the things that we've learned in construction is that we get promoted to positions and there's an expectation that we know how to lead that position. So thank you so much, Shaun. It was great having you.
Yeah, thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thanks, my friend.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Contender's Edge podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.